Salut à tous, ça va bien? This is the audio file for week 7, leçon numéro 2. Semaine 7, leçon numéro 2. We are still covering the chapter on the interrogative form, and today we will learn how to ask questions in French when the interrogative pronoun is what. There can be many different translations for the interrogative pronoun what in French, and since we only have 10 minutes, about 10 minutes, I will have to go to the most important points in this lesson. Feel free to obtain the original file at the address shown on your screen. So this is how we will proceed in this lesson. I will show you different questions in French that include the word what. Then I will provide the translations into French and quickly explain you whether we should use quoi, que, qu'est-ce que, quel, which are all equivalents of what in French. Then, as I usually do, I will provide you with a sort of formula to make you easily recognize the patterns in French when you ask a question that involves what. Okay, so let's start. Case number 1. What equals quel, quel, and quel. But please, only pay attention to the first quel, the one to the far left, since the others are just simple modifications of it. Now, in what case do we use quel in French when we mean what? Here is a sentence in English. What computer do you have? What computer do you have? Pay attention to the word that comes right after what. If it's a noun, like it is in this case, computer, then the equivalent for what in French will be quel. Simple. So our question in French will be quel ordinateur as-tu? Quel ordinateur as-tu? So you can see that even in French, the noun ordinateur comes right after quel. So the formula will be quel plus noun plus verb plus subject. Just remember to use quel if it's a noun that follows your interrogative pronoun what in English. Now, what about the other quel? Quel. They are just the plural or feminine forms of quel. If I ask, what computers do you have in the plural form, then it will be quels ordinateurs as-tu? Quels ordinateurs as-tu? If the noun is feminine, you will have to use quel with double L and E at the end, and you add an S if it's plural. Alright, so now case number 2. What equals que? And our question in English is, what can you do? What can you do? Pay attention to the word that follows, that comes right after what. Can is a verb, a modal verb, I should say. In that case, the equivalent for what is que, because what here is followed by a verb. And the question will be in French, que peux-tu faire? Que peux-tu faire? Okay, because what was followed by a verb, we have to use que. Peut is also a verb in French, and in this question it follows, the verb follows que, peut. Que peux-tu faire? So you use que if the word following is a verb. Okay, I don't know, maybe I don't make sense. Okay, let me say that again. You use que whenever it's a verb that follows. Alright, in the first case it was a noun and we used quel. In this case it's a verb, so we use que. So our formula will be que plus verb plus subject plus the rest of your sentence. Okay, so it will be que plus the verb plus the subject and the remaining of your sentence. And here is another question in English where what is immediately followed by a verb. When you say, when you ask this question, what does she say? What does she say? In French it will be que dit-elle? Que dit-elle? Que dit-elle? Alright, so you use que and then the verb plus the subject. Okay, que dit-elle? You'll have to invert the order subject verb, which will become verb subject, and this is very important. Que dit-elle? Now, case number 3. What equals qu'est-ce que? Okay, qu'est-ce que? What I've just said about que also applies to qu'est-ce que. If it's a verb that follows what, in French you can use qu'est-ce que, just like we used que. But when using qu'est-ce que, you don't have to invert the verb. Okay, there's no inversion to make here. So the same question asked previously, the same question asked que dit-elle will be qu'est-ce qu'elle dit? Qu'est-ce qu'elle dit? Que dit-elle will become qu'est-ce qu'elle dit? No inversion of the verb here. And our formula will be qu'est-ce que plus subject plus verb. When using que, it was que plus verb plus subject. So you see the difference, right? So in this question, qu'est-ce qu'elle dit? You probably noticed that I didn't say qu'est-ce qu'elle dit, because que ends in the vowel and elle starts with a vowel too. So we remove the e and we place an apostrophe, right? Case number 4. What equals quoi? Quoi is actually the direct translation of what, and I probably should have started there. What equals quoi? If you say in English, for example, what? Sorry, what? In French it will be pardon, quoi? Quoi? Pardon? Pardon, quoi? So, I hope you get the idea. When you ask someone, what? In French it's quoi? Pardon, quoi? Okay, so what is quoi? Or we can make it more dramatic if you want. What? What do you say? What? In this case, what is also quoi? Quoi? Qu'est-ce que tu dis? Quoi? Quoi? Alright? So use quoi if you want to express a feeling of surprise or shock, or if what simply stands by itself, like what? If you ask what? In French it's quoi? Alright? But here is another case where you should use quoi when you mean what. I give you a question. This is a question here in English for you. If you ask this question, you say what? Here, what is at the end of the question, and when you translate this into French, it becomes quoi. You say what will become in French. Tu dis quoi? Tu dis quoi? Tu dis quoi here? Quoi, as you see, is at the end of the question. So the formula is subject plus verb plus quoi. And word for word, this is a perfect match, perfect translation. You say what? Tu dis quoi? Alright? So use quoi at the end of your question. You say what will be tu dis quoi. There is one last case when you should use quoi if you ask a question. After a preposition in French, à quoi, de quoi, avec quoi, sans quoi. But I won't explain this here because it will take too much time. But I did explain it in the original lesson posted in my virtual class. So these are all the possible meanings for you to express what in French. And to make sure that you have retained all this, you can join the virtual class and take many tests, as many tests as you want. It's a good way, I think, to improve your French. I had fun doing this tutorial, and I see you soon, and take care. Au revoir. Bye.